build and deploy this fully responsive portfolio website using ReactJS, Tailwind CSS and Vite. And you can see that this is a highly attractive portfolio, so you can create this portfolio for yourself to just attract clients. So every section is responsive and every section like the project area is looking good. And let's get started building this project. So first of all, we have to create a folder on our desktop which will be ReactJS portfolio, and after that we have to open the Visual Studio Code to further create our project. So after dragging dropping the folder inside our VS Code where we will be deploying where we will be developing our project. So after that we have to open the terminal where we can write some commands to install the Vite app, which allow us to create the React project. So it will give some option like I will select the React, and after that I will also select the JavaScript, and it's time to npm install and it will start our development. Now npm install will install all the dependencies, and now we can clear the terminal and write npm run dev. It will start our project. So our project is running on localhost 5173. You can copy it and paste it in your browser. So in my case I have clicked on that link. You can also do that, and it should open the browser, and it's taking some time, but after loading our project, and you can see that this is the interface you will get. However, we will be deleting all the code which is unnecessary, and we will be writing all the code for our project from scratch. So this is the first thing which we are going to do is hello world, and removing all the other thing which is unnecessary, and we will have to clean all the CSS. So I have deleted the CSS and we only need one CSS file, and I also have deleted all this stuff inside the index.css. After that we have to change our title of our website, which will be ReactJS portfolio, and in the end I have put a hand image. So this is the code for that hand image, and you can also do that. Now it's time to install our Tailwind CSS inside our project, so we can start building our project further. So Tailwind CSS is a CSS library framework, you can say that, which allow us to use extensive CSS inside our project without writing any single line of CSS. We are actually writing the classes, and it will implementing our CSS in the backend. So just pass the code here to install our Tailwind CSS, and what we need, we only need to pass this code to install our Tailwind CSS, which is the npm install d Tailwind CSS post CSS and r2 fixer. We don't have to do the first thing which is in the Tailwind CSS website, which is the creation of the project, which we have already done. Now we are installing the Tailwind CSS. So after that we also have to write the npx Tailwind CSS in 8p, and it will create a file which will be the Tailwind config.js. So here we have to replace the code here, and we also have to copy this code and paste in our index.css. And after that we have to copy this to just see is it our class is working and can we proceed. So if we refresh, still nothing is working. Why it is happening, I don't know. But the second thing option is that we have to use the script inside our project. So open the index.html and paste the header script, and now our project has implementing the Tailwind CSS. Now it's time to build our project further. So first of all, we will be creating the navbar. For that, we are going to comment the text navbar. Inside these two comments, we will be writing whole code for our navbar. So our navbar will be a nav tag, and it will contain some class name like p10 flex, and justify will be between, and items will be center. This is the CSS, and actually we are just calling the name of the properties. And after that we have a logo, which is the name of Muhammad Ali, which is our portfolio person names. And after that we will need a UL, and inside the UL we will be having a link. A link will be to our links will be having a class name of 2xl, and just copy paste it again and again and change the name accordingly. So second name will be experiences, third will be projects, and the last one will be the contact. Now let's use some class name to our UL to make it more good looking. So put flex, and after that put some gap between these links, and gap will be around 20, and now it's looking good. And now we can proceed towards our next section, which will be the header section, and just comment out the header text, and inside these two comments we will be writing whole code for our header section. The header will be a header tag, and inside the header tag we will be having a div, and the div will be having some class name of border, and p will be 10, padding will be 10. First container will contain an image, and the second one will be containing some text. So let's go to our here, and from here we can drag and drop the asset, because we will need the asset, and just drag and drop all the asset inside our public folder and just paste it here. But you don't have to do this, because you already get the whole asset in the GitHub repository, and it is just for me, and I have done for myself, so you don't need that. And now we are able to give the location of the specific asset which we are going to use. So the first image which we are going to use is the profile image, and it's a big URL, so just remove all of this stuff and paste slash before that, and you can see that a big images appear. So for customizing that, I am going to use some class name, like giving some height and width for this, and the height will be around 400 px, and I think 500 will looks good. And now we have to make this header will be a grid, and the grid will be having two columns, and the first will be having some class name of flex justify, and justify will be items will be center. And just copy this and paste it for the second container also, because it will be having some images, it will be having some text. So let's see how is it looking. We have put flex, and we have to also include the flex column, just because if we only do flex, then it will be in same line. So in flex column we will be having in as top to bottom, so we will be needing indeed of that, and change the text accordingly. So the first text will be hello, I am Muhammad Ali, a front-end developer, and after that we will be having our button, and everything is just small. And now it's time to use some class name to make our text bigger, and as it is we what we are looking for. So text will be gray 800, and just copy it and paste it for this also, and increase the font size for this, and text will customize the color of the text accordingly as your requirement, as you want. So we have styled our tags, and it's looking good, and just put some gap between these tags. Around gap will be 2, and the button will be having a class name of round full, and the padding will be 6 in x-axis, and just copy paste it again, and it's looking good. And now it's time to style the container of our buttons. So make it flags, and gap will be 3, and the first button will be the download CV button. You can also link the button with a PDF, and we have to have a ring 1 for this first button, download CV button, and the second will be having a background of black. For that we are going to use BG 800, BG gray 800, and the text will be white. So put text white, it will white the text. Then you can see that we can also implement some hover effect just using Tailwind CSS. Like hover will be BG gray 900, and on the other button, which is the download CV button, we have to also include a hover effect. And when we hover on it, and the color will be, text color will be white and background color will be black, and we also putting some transition, it will smooth the transition effect, and it's looking good, and our header section is now looking beautiful. Now it's time to put an image below these tags, so our portfolio website should look some attractive. So before that, we are including some social media icons. So I'm using an image, you can see that. Now we have to use a class name to fix it out its height and width. So the container will be having a class name of flags, and gap will be around 2, and I think it's looking good, and we have to put padding of 32 on from all the side to our tags, and yeah, that's basically it. And we have completed our header section, and now we can move toward our next section, which is the about section. So just do the same thing as we have done for our first 2 sections, like commenting out the tags about, and inside these comments we will be writing all the code which is required to create our about section. So the about section container will be having an ID of about, and the class name will be about, just to make sure that we will be working on this section. So after that we need 2 tags. The one text will be get to know, and the second text will be about me. So these are the 2 tags which we are going to use, and this section will be having a padding of 10, and the text will be centralized. So below these 2 tags we will be having a container which will be having a class name of grid, and grid, I think grid doesn't work, we will be need indeed of flags. And now we need an image. So below this image we will be having a div, and div will be having a class name of border. And now we have to know the image name, which is the profile pic 2, and just put png after that. Oh boy, it is too big image, so we don't need this image. Actually, we need the about pic image. So this is the image, and it's an iconic image, and after that we have to customize the height and width of our this image. So height of 500 is enough for me, and this container which is containing this image will be having a justify between, and items will be not centralized for now. And below the image we have a another container which will be having a border and some padding of 10, and the width will be full. This will be containing a container which will be having a class of grid, and the grid will contain 2 columns. And we just copy paste the div which will be having a ring class name, and the round lg and pixel will be 10. And below that we have a paragraph which will be just written some lorem ipsum, and we have 2 containers as you can see that, and padding is around 32. I think 20 is looking good. And after the grid we need a gap between these grid, so I'm putting gap 5, and the text will be text start, align start, and the text will be Excel, so it will be to Excel I think. And the text will be having a color of text grid 600. Yeah, it's looking good. And the container of our this about section will be having a padding of 32, and the image will be rounded to Excel, I think. And so the gap between we need a gap between our container and our grids and our text. So the first div will contain which is inside the grid section. We will be needed a image, and we just copy the image location and give it class name to customize it height, which will be around h10. And this is too much big because we don't have put the correct class name. And now it's time to give the container the class of flex, and also flex call, and gap will be 3, and justify will be center, and items will be centralized, and the height will be around 20. And below this image we will be need a text which will be having a font size of text size of 2 XL, and the text will be education. Text will be having 3 XL font size, and the font will be bold. And after that we have to put the color of our text, which is the text gray 900. And what we need, we just have to copy and paste this text again and write the front end development, and change the color of this text, and also text is overlapping, so the text size will be Excel, text Excel, and the color will be lighter than the heading, which is the education. And now what we need, we just have to copy this and replace with this div. And let's see that we can now only change our location of our image, name of our image, and also the tags. The second tags will be experience, and below the experience tags we will need another tags which will be having a class name of tax grade 600, and the tax will be 6 years of experience plus experience. And let's see what miss out. We also need the tax here below the education, where we can put 3 years diploma, and you can see that everything is looking good. And yeah, things are looking good, and we have done a lot of customization, and our customization is perfect, and we can proceed while doing our responsiveness section. So put padding 32 in x-axis, and yeah, I think we are good to go towards our next section. Before that, we have to put copy and paste it here. So our image and both container is looking good, but padding on x-axis around 32 is not looking good for the image section. And if we put remove the padding, it's still looking good. And if we have an image here and change the size of the image to H4, and it's not looking good. If we have the image here, let's customize the width of the image also. Around the text width will be 500 px. Full, it's not working. Just undo the stuff which we have already done, and we are good to go. We don't need the padding. We need item centralize. We have completed our about section, and here is the few things which we have to customize more. Like we have to remove the borders from the divs. So yeah, we have successfully created our about section. Now let's go towards our next section, which is the experience section. So comment out these experience tags and just copy paste these experience tags again, and inside this experience comments we will be writing whole code which will be for our experience section, for building our experience section. So the experience section will be having a class name of experience, but I don't need these all of the code. Just remove all, because what is going on I don't understand. Let's go to the experience section, create an experience section, and inside these comments we will be having a div which will be having a class name of experience, and it will be having an ID of experience. So when we click on the link in the navbar, we will be able to go to that section and just copy the about tags, and we can customize it to make our own this section tags. So this will be the tags of know my experience tags, and We also have to copy this stuff, not copying this stuff but customizing the height of the font. So the font will be Excel and the font will be not the bold, and the font will be MD. So the font will be semi bold, I think, and just copy it and paste it here, and do the same for this section also, this text, and remove the text 3XL and make it XL. Now what we need, we have to go to our experience section and give it some class name of text center. It will centralize our text, put padding of 32 from all the sides, and below the experience tags we need a container which will be having a class name of grid, and the grid will be having 2 columns, and after that we will be having another div which will be having a class name of ring1, and it will put some border to our container, and it also our grid also have a spacer, and the space will be gap. I think padding is also looks good, and yeah, padding on x-axis will be 32, and we need another text which will be displaying front-end development, and the text will be smaller, around 3XL, and we just have to copy paste it again to make our second container, and it will be displaying backend technologies. So these are the 2 columns which we have, and one is displaying the experiences or the technologies in front end development, and the second container or column will be displaying our backend development technologies. So let's put gap here. For that we have to make it flex, and the flex will be column. I think we have done something wrong and it's looking good, but there is no gap between our this stuff, so put some padding on y-axis around 10, and it's looking good, and we can proceed. So now we have to put something in our this container, this column. So inside this column we need another grid which will be having columns of 3, and inside that each column will be having class name of border, and padding will be 10. However, border is not displaying, so remove all of this stuff and make it flex and put an image, and after that we need a flex, and flex will be column, and this will be displaying a text which will be around text size will be 4XL, 2XL, I think it looks good, and the text will be the technology's name, which is in my case HTML, and give the image for each technology. So for each technologies I don't have the particular image like HTML image, but we have a check mark, or you in your case you will be having an image, so just use that image, and the below text will be displaying the experiences, I think. So customize the image size accordingly, and the second image will be displaying. Before that we have to justify center, and this looks good, and items will be start, so it will be starting and lining. So yeah, we have completed our first section and we have to change this to experience, and we just have to copy this and paste it again and again according to how many technologies we know, and we have to put padding on. The padding is not working, so let's see the space X then will work, but I think we need a space Y, but everything is making some error, so you can see that stuff are not aligning and our layout is crashing, and you can see that we have to put some padding on all from all the side, around padding of 10. Let's see, is it working? Yeah, I think it's okay for now, but we have to customize the padding so it will be aligning with each other. Padding around 5, yeah, it's looking good now, and we just have to change the name accordingly. So I know the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, ReactJS, Next.js, and React Native. So in your case, you can change accordingly. And I have ReactJS intermediate experience, and Next.js I have experience of intermediate also. And the last technology which I know is React Native, and I also have intermediate knowledge in React Native development. So it will be not React Native, it should be WordPress. So everything is looking good, everything is aligning, but our fonts and our image is too much big, I think. So let's select all the tags and change the tags accordingly, because I have misspelled the intermediate tags, and it's now correct. And now we have to remove the padding on y-axis, but it's not working. Padding from all the side around 10. It's also making some error, our stuffs are collapsing, so it's not going good. So we need 3 columns, but we also have to give some space between these grids. So for fixing out that, I am writing this flex and flex with the column, but still nothing is happening. So let's try out many stuff to achieve our actual output. So feel free to play with your code to make your layout more attractive. And I don't know what we have to customize to make our layout much more cooler, because you can see that in front end container our left side is okay, but the right side is touching with the border, and it's not looking so good. So select all of these and paste it in our backend, I think, because yeah, it's on you how you customize it, but in my case it was okay, and you can proceed with that, because we have achieved the layout, but still something is missing, but you can fix it out it, and if possible I will be fix it out it later. So the container, the grid will be having a padding of y-axis around 10, and the first will be having a padding of 5, and if we remove the padding, it's not looking good. So padding on y-axis around 5. Now I think we have done something cooler and it's looking good. So now what we have to do, we have to change the height of our grid to padding around 32, but it's not looks good. So I think margin or y-axis it still looks same, but if we put padding it's much more understandable. So the padding is 32 for the second container also, and if we put margin it's still working same, but we don't need padding and margin both because it just looks awkward. And I think rounded will be 3xo, and padding on y-axis around 10, 20. I think it looks good now. So yeah, we have to also give this class to over this container. Around padding is 20, not this, the ring one, and not this, all of this stuff we don't need. And we have the same container having same classes, and let's change the name of ReactJS and make the stuff small and replace the CSS with. Actually I am now writing the backend technologies, so that's why these are the difference than our front-end technologies. So the last one will be the JSON, second last will be the JSON, and the last one will be SQL, and I think this one the last, and it will be Laravel. So now our layout is crashed, so let's fix it out. It like we have to remove the flags, so you can see that everything is looking cool. And let's change the text to experience, explore my experience, and just copy it because we are indeed of that. And now we can proceed toward our next section, which is our section. Before that we have to paste the text here, which is browse my projects. So it's the projects section, and we have a wrap up our project section inside a div which will be having a class name of p32 and text will be center, and it will be wrap up inside two comments which are projects, and inside the project comments we will be writing the whole code which is required to build our project section. So the project section will be having a container which will be a grid, and grid will be containing 3 columns, and each column will be having a class name of ring1, and around it will be 3xl. Yeah, just like this. And padding on from all the side will be 10, and it will be flex, and the gap would be between the element inside this container will be 10, and the flex will be call. So inside the container we will be having this image, so project.png. so you can see that the image is displaying, and the image will be rounded. And yeah, we can proceed now. So now let's copy and paste this text and make the text size to 3xo, and yeah, it's looking awkward, so let's fix it out. So for that what I think now it's fixed because we don't have put the dash between the flex and call, and now customize that text accordingly. So text will be for Excel, and below this text we need a grid, and the grid will be containing class of p20 and the columns will be 2, and inside that we need a button, and the button will be having a class name of ring1 rounded full and padding 5, and we need a text inside it, and which will be having a size of text XL. So yeah, now we need padding on y-axis around 7, so it's not looking good, so I think padding 3 will be better, padding 4. Yeah, and on hover we have to change the color to text color to white, and on hover the background color will be black. So gray 800 is almost black, and you can see that a dark gray is displaying. Now change the button name accordingly, like the first button will be the GitHub button, and the second will be the lab demo button, and for this we have to put the px on around 10, and the space on x-axis were around to 5. So yeah, it's looking good, and hover is now much better, and yeah, we can close this section and just copy this section and paste it, because we have 3 projects and each will be having the same layout, but we will be changing the content accordingly. So put some gap between our this. So for that I'm using SpaceX around 10, and it's disturbing the button sizes. So why it is happening I don't know, but we will fix it out. So if we remove this class, and I think now it looks good. Yeah, we are good to go, and everything is looking good, and we have completed this section, but we have to change the data content inside it. Like the project 2 will be having a image of project 2, and the third will be having a image of project 3, and the text will be changed accordingly, like project 1, project 2 and project 3. So we have done almost everything in our project section. Now we can move forward toward our next section, which is the contact section. So just comment out this text, contact us, and inside this comments we will be having a container which will be having this line of texts. So we have copied the text from here and pasted inside our about container. So change the text accordingly, like the first text will be to contact us. So the text will be centralized, and you can see that it's almost there. And after that, what we going to do, we need a container which will be having a class name of flex, and justify will be center, and items will be centralized, and padding will be 10. And inside this container we will be having a div which will be having a class name of ring1, and round it will be 3xl, and the padding from all the side will be 10, and it will be also flex. So in this container we will be having an image, and the image will be email.png image, and we have to put some class name to customize the height of the image. So now after that we have to have a text. For that I am using a div, and inside the div we have a class name of text3xl, and the text will be semi bold, and the text will be the email. So just copy and paste it again, and we will have to change the text accordingly, because the second will be the linkedin.com, the first will be the example.gmail.com, and we have put it some gap between these containers, and you can see that. And we also have changed the background color to gray 100, and hopefully it's looking good. And I think we have just going to finish out our project. And in this section, in the last, before the closing tag of our div, we have to put the copyright tags here, and you can see that. And after that, we have to have a padding on bottom around 32, and the body padding will be 32, and it looks good and it's just amazing. And you can see that we have created and very impressive portfolio website using ReactJS, Next.js, and other stuff. So now let's start. We have completed our development. Now let's fix it out, the stuff which we have to fix it out. And on the high screen you can see that image is not looking good, but the other stuff looks good. So let's customize the font sizes. Like if I have to select these things, and I also have to put transition to make animation while hovering over the links. And now it's time to fix it out our header section image, which is not looking so good. So let's fix it out by removing the height of the image. Now it's looking good, and after that the text will be around to 3.6, and yeah, now it looks really good. And we are just fix it out the stuff on our layout to make our layout much more cooler. So now go to the, before that, remove the spaces because it's irritating. And however, the spaces are not counted in our development. And now we have to remove the height of the image, but when we remove the height of the image, it's looking awkward. So around 400 will be looks good. And after that we have to remove the 32 margin from there, and it's still not is what I really want. So the gap is too much smaller. So between the two main container, between the image and the text container, so now we have put it some gap between these containers, and it looks awesome. And now we can go towards our next section. Before that, we have to customize the font size for it, and the font size of this containing text should be MD, and also for this one. And you can see that now we have fixed it out perfectly. And the last one is the justifiable start, and yeah, I think it's good. But you can see that this below experience section is not looking so good. So let's customize it again, and let's make it what we are looking for. So let's select all of these skills and customize the font size for it accordingly. Now I think it's looking good, and we have customized the height of the image and the text accordingly. Now it's time to go towards our projects. So let's go. So now what we have to do, we have to copy this, and we have to copy this section. Now we have to just select this section and customize the font size for it, because these buttons are not so looking good, and for that I am changing the all of this stuff and making it flex. And if we make it flex, it's still not working. So I think the one section is still not working just because we have not selected it. Now we have selected it and give some gap between this, and it's now still it's so crashing the layout, and you can see that buttons are looks like oval. So for that yeah, now I think it looks good, everything is perfect. And just close this second, because we have done the stuff, and you can also customize it more to make it more attractive. So now our context section is looking good, but let's customize it further to put some hover effect on our text. So the on hover, the text will be red, and it also have a class of transition, because when we hover over this text, it should be transition start, it should be start, and our copyright text should be bold. Now we have successfully created our project, and our website is created. Now we have to fix it out and make it responsive on mobile screen also, because many of the users will open our project on the mobile as they get links. So let's fix it out by giving padding of 5 on default, and on large screen that padding will be the padding which we have already given to it. So the text sizes will be also changed, and on default screen, on small screen, the text will be Excel, not Excel. The text will be Excel, and on large screen the text will be 2XL. So text is still looks big, so LZ will be, and the gap will be also on large screen around 20, and on small screen it should be around 5. So layout is not looking good, so decrease the font size of our text to small on small screen. And I think we don't have to customize this all of this stuff, because on small screen it will be hidden, this menu will be hidden on small screen. On the small screen only we need a button which will be having a hamburger menu icon. So on small screen it will be a block, means while it will be display. On large screen, medium screen, it will be hidden. So we have a button and here, and we have to put MD, because for me the large screen will be MD, medium screen will be large screen for me. But in your case you can also make responsive for large screen which is bigger than our regular screens. So for icon I am going to the heroicon.com. Here you can get the SVG of any icon you want and close it and just paste it in our development, and we can customize and we will be good to go. So many stuff are not working as we made it responsive. So let's paste the SVG and remove the padding gap of 20. On small screen it should be display, and I think we have put this wrong. It will be double dot, and you can see that on small screen the hamburger menu is displaying on. However, the hamburger menu should be background will be gray 100. It should also have a padding, and it should also be rounded, and rounded will be good, and rounded will be full. So now we have to put MD before the padding 32. Now our layout is still crashed, so on medium screen it will be having 2 columns, but on small screen it will be 1 column, and you can see that our image is too big, and other stuff are looking good, and so give some shadow to our image to make it more attractive. So the border will be rounded full, and we can see that our image is looking good, and this section is just responsive, but something is still not working, and before that we have to give padding 32 from all the side on small screen also, but I think we have to give padding 20 on small screen, and on medium screen the padding will be 32. And you can see that this section is totally out of our layout, so let's make this section also responsive. So here is the thing, we have to put flex call. I think we have to make it on item center on medium screen, and the flex will be column, and MD flex will be row on medium screen. And you can see that image is still squeezed, and for that we have to make the image perfect, so we will be customizing the image on medium screen only. So also customize the gap between these items, so py will be 10, and it's looking good, and our icon is not looking good, so let's make it this section more good. So on medium screen the card will be 1 2, and on small screen the card will be 1, and from all the side the padding will be 5. On the medium screen the padding will be 32, and you can see that this section is also broken, which is the experience section. So let's fix it out. So for that we have to put padding 5, and on gap will be on medium screen around 10, and on small screen the gap will be 5, and this section will be having a grid of 1 on small screen, and on medium screen the grid will be 2. So and space y is around 10, and you can see that everything is fixed out, and we have made this section also responsive. For now we have to make it grid will be 2, and you can see that now it is looking so much good than we have, and yeah, I think it's looking good. Now we have to fix it out. Our project section, it is also broken, and we have to make it responsive on mobile screen. So let's fix it out. Something like we have to have the grid will be columns 3 on medium screen, and on small screen the grid will be 1. So you can see that our projects are now looking good, and padding will be 10 from all the side, and on small screen the padding will be 10, and on medium screen the padding on y-axis will be 10. So let's customize this to make it more understandable and more responsive. Basically I am customizing the hidden padding and gap between these elements, so you can do the same. And this is just our responsive section, so we will be focusing on making stuff responsive. So don't worry if you don't understand anything, because you can try it yourself and you can also watch the code inside the GitHub repository. So let's fix it out again, and we have to paste it, and we have to have padding. I don't see any changes, but we are doing now. We can see that some changes are implementing, and we have successfully customized our this section. But we also have to give some space y around 5 on small screen, and you can see that everything is looking good. But now we have to move towards the context section, because it is not responsive, and you can see that it caused a sidebar and it's not looking responsive. So let's make it responsive by putting MD before the height 10 and give it a height of 5. So I think height will be not enough for this, and you can see that what height I have given to it. And the text will be Excel on small screen. On medium screen the text will be greater, and gap, if we have to gap between these stuff, we have to select this and justify will be center, items will be center, and you can see that everything is centralized. And now we have to put space x5. It's not working, so gap is okay I think, but gap is also not working. So what we can do, we can give it more gap. Then you can see that gap is now working, and we only have to customize the footer section where we have written the copyright text. So make it MD, and text will be MD on small screen and small. And you can see that we have successfully done responsive, and we have successfully made our screen responsive. But on tablet you can see that our project is not responsive. On the small screen, on mobile screen, and on the medium screen of a laptop or any devices, it will be responsive. But on medium screen it is not, on tablet screen it is not responsive. So just select all of these and put LG before that, and now you can see that every stuff is responsive on tablet screen and on small screen. But some stuff are still not looks good, like if we talk about this section, it is not looking good. So this is just because we have put some space y, and we have to put I think we have to have on LG screen the space y will be 0. You can see that everything is looking good. And now what we have to do, I think we have to put padding 20, and yeah, we have successfully created our website and fully responsive it is, and everything is working. And we have to remove the LG from here, so we have to put LG here, and you can see that our Navbar is now working and everything is looking cool. then you can see that this is the whole code. And now it's time to create components. So this is the section where we have to convert all the section into convert into components. So it's just the best practice for beginners. So let's cut all the stuff from here, the navbar code, and just paste it here. But here is the thing, we need a function which will be having a navbar tags, navbar function, and we have to return this whole code. So we also have to export this navbar. So we have to go to our project and import the navbar from components, and you can see that this small code is just displaying whole navbar. So now we have created header.tsx, and here we need another function which will be displaying the header, and for that we have a return, and we also have to export this function as a header, default header, and paste the code here. But we have to put the JSX after this stuff. So now we can import the header from the components, and you can see that everything is displaying. And now we have to remove this whole code and convert into a component. So it is removed from here, and now create a new component which is about.jsx, and write the function which is the about function, and it will be returning this whole code. Before that we have to write export default about, and it will be exporting this whole code, and we can now import the about section in our home page. And now we have to remove this whole experience section code, and let's create another component which is the experience.jsx. so it will be having a function which name is experience. It will be having a return keyword, and it will be exporting the default experience. So let's paste it here, and if we import the experience from here, you can see that experience is not displaying. Yeah, experience is displaying on the screen. And now we have to remove the project's code, and we have to create another component which will be a function. And after that we have to write the component name which is the projects, and return it, and export this default projects component, and paste the code here. And let's import this section also, which is the projects. And yeah, we have the project. And now the last thing, which is the contact section, and remove the code and create another component which is the contact.jsx, and write function contact, and this will be a return value, and export this contact component and paste the code here. And let's import the contact component in the bottom. And yeah, we can now see everything is displaying, and we have successfully converted all our component into all our section into component. And yeah, this is the whole code for our project, and every stuff is well recognized and well written, and it is a clean coding, and you can change anything you want. And you know that if you are watching this tutorial from scratch, from beginning, then everything is well structured. So now we have the space between these, and yeah, we have completed the stuff, and we have created our website, fully functional website. And now we have to deploy our project. So for that we have to go to our github, where we have to create a repository which will be a React React.js portfolio, and let's create the repository, which is the September 2023, and let's create the repository. And now we have to upload all the existing files. So let's go to here and just drag and drop all the code here, but you can see that the code is not uploading because we have a node modules inside our folder. So what we have to do, we have to open this folder, and we only have to delete this node module because it contain a lots of code, and GitHub don't allow us to paste all of the code here. So now we have to paste all the code here, and we have deleted the node modules, you can see that. And while it is uploading on GitHub, we can see that it's taking some time, but yeah, after deploying all the stuff here, uploading all the code here, we can deploy our project on Vercel. Vercel is a platform which allows us to host any Vite app, ReactJS app, and Next.js app without having to pay any single penny, and you can host there, and you can also get free domain there. So our code is now ready, I think, and we can press the commit, and it's taking some time, and now we can open the vercel.com where we can deploy our project. So here we have to press on the add new, and from here we can see that this is just updated repository, and we have to change the name accordingly if you want to, but if you don't want to, then feel free to go with that. And you can see that this is our domain, and we have just pressed the deploy button, and now our project is deploying, and it will be ready in few seconds. So everything is going great, and now it's successfully deployed on Vercel. So now we can go here and we can see our project live. So where is our project? Before that, we have to remove this tab, and now you can see that we have successfully deployed our project, and we have to create another file. We don't need to. You can see that our link of our deployed app is on GitHub now, GitHub repository, and yeah, we have successfully created this section, this portfolio, which is fully responsive using ReactJS and Tailwind CSS, and it is also responsive for mobile, and everything is looking good. And we also have deployed it on Vercel, and we can also see that our project is how our portfolio is responsive. So yeah, this is the editor tutorial for you. So if you are beginner, then this is a great tutorial for you. If you're not, then it is still for you, because it is very simple and easy to follow tutorial, and it is very attractive portfolio if you want to include to showcase your project and showcase your latest project to your clients. So hopefully you have learned a lots of things, and if you have any query, any question, you can ask me in the comment section, and I will love to answer those questions, because as I am a beginner in coding also, I have learned a lot of stuff, and I just want to teach those person who are curious about learning new stuff. So hopefully you learn a lot of stuff, and thank you for watching. So goodbye, see you in the next tutorial. So happy coding.